Alright, so today we are going to be looking at quadratic functions, so exploring parabolas. That's the type of graph that quadratic functions create. So looking at our notes, quadratic functions have the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. This is your standard form. Okay, all quadratic equations have a squared term. Okay, so if there's not a squared value, then it's not quadratic. Okay, the parent function, so that means everything is based off this function, is y equals x squared. So your a is 1. If we look at this, we don't have a b and we don't have a c. Okay, the graph of a quadratic function is a parabola. Okay, that's how that's pronounced, parabola. Okay, quadratic functions are nonlinear. Okay, they don't create a line. Okay, the vertex of a parabola is a point where the function reaches a minimum, or the lowest, or a maximum, so the highest value. Okay, the line of symmetry, so that means your graph is going to be symmetrical, goes through your vertex. Okay, so if we look at a graph, I'm just going to choose a couple values, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, if we plug this in our parent function, -1 squared is 1, 0 squared is 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. Okay, and if I take that over here and I plot, okay, so -1 is 1, 0, 0, 1 is 1, 2 is 4. I have my parabola. It is U-shaped. Okay, so there's the top part. Okay, the general rules. Okay, so if your a is positive, so that means your first number, then your graph opens up. Okay, and the vertex reaches a minimum, so it opens up. That's your lowest point. Okay, if your a, so the front number is negative, it opens down. Okay, and your vertex reaches a maximum, so that's the highest point it'll go. So negative down, positive up. So positive, it's happy, it's smiling. Negative, it's frowning, it's unhappy. Alright, so then if we look at these two examples, does y equals -3x squared plus 2x plus 8 open up or down? We're just looking at our front number right here. It's negative, so this is going to open down. Okay, if we look at this one, this front number, y equals 2x squared plus x minus 4, it's positive, so it's going to open up. Okay, so just by looking at that front number, you can determine that. Alright, so then, if we look, if a is a whole number, so not 1, okay, that means it's not a fraction, it's just a number bigger than 1, then your graph will be narrower, so that means skinnier than the graph of your parent function, so y equals x squared. If your a is a fraction, okay, that means smaller than 1, the graph will be wider, so the graph will be fatter than the graph of x squared. Okay, so then if we look at how does y equals 1/3 x squared compared to the parent function, well, this 1/3 is a fraction, so fraction means wider. Okay, then if we look, how does y equals 5x squared compared to the parent function, that's a whole number, it's bigger than 1, so it's narrower. Okay, so now we're going to compare and contrast these to the parent function. Okay, we're going to be using our calculator. So I have my calculator, I'm clear this screen. I'm going to go to y equals, clear these if you have anything in there. Okay, I'm going to put the parent function first. Alright, then I'm going to put this new function, so x squared minus 4. Okay, let's graph it and compare. So this first one that graphed right here is my parent function, and then everything just moved down. How much did it move down? If we look, it moved down 4. Okay, if we look at this minus 4 down 4, those go together. Okay, so if we do the same kind of comparison to the next one, this one is positive 3, so it'll move up 3. Okay, and if we looked at those, I'd have x squared plus 3, graph it shifted everything up 3. Okay. Now, find the vertex and axis of symmetry. Alright, so again, we're going to be using our calculator. I'm going to plug these in, I'm just going to do y1. So I'm going to have negative x squared plus 6x minus 4. Okay, and y equals, hit graph. Okay, now to find the vertex, that's the tip of this. So this is going to be a maximum, right? I'm going to hit second trace, go down to maximum because it's the highest point. And on here it says left bound, so I want to go to the left of that. So this is a little to the left of the highest point. Keep scrolling. Now it says right bound, so go to the right. Okay, and if you look, these arrows surround my vertex. So hit enter. I want you to guess. So my maximum is 3, 5. So my vertex is 3, 5. Okay, now your axis of symmetry is just whatever the x value is. So x equals 3 would be my axis of symmetry. Because if I drew that line at x equals 3, it would be symmetric about that line. Okay, so let's look at this next one. I'm going to have 4 minus 3x squared. Graph it. Okay, look at it. It is opening down, so it's going to have a maximum. Okay, maximum. Go to the left of it, hit enter. Go to the right of it, hit enter. And again, you see your arrows are surrounding it. Enter one more time. So your minimum, okay, this right here, I don't like when it does this. But anytime you have e to the negative anything, this is just 0. Okay, it should just give it to you 0. So your vertex is 0, 4. So then your axis of symmetry is just x equals 0. Alright. So now, next part is finding the roots, so your zeros using the calculator. Okay, what roots mean and zeros mean is finding where do they cross the x-axis. Okay, so your x-axis is your horizontal axis. So I'm going to type this first equation in. X squared plus 2x plus 1. I'm going to graph it. Okay, if we look at that, it only touches the x-axis. So I'm going to have one thing. Okay, to do this, I have to go to second trace, 0, because that's my value I'm finding. Okay, I need to go to the left of it. So I went to the left, hit enter, and I need to go to the right, hit enter. Okay, so my 0 is negative 1, 0. Alright, so now let's look at this one. So I have x squared plus 9x plus 18. Okay, if I graph it, if I look, how many times does it cross? It crosses 1, 2 times. Okay, so second trace, 0. Okay, you have to do each one separately. So I'm going to do this left one first. Okay, if I go to the left of where it crosses, it's going to be just a little above. Hit enter. Go to the right. Okay, if we look, it surrounds that. Hit enter. Oh man, sorry. I hit the wrong thing. Let me try this again. Okay, so left, enter, right, enter, enter. Okay, so there's a 0, negative 6, 0. Okay, then we have to do it again for the next one. So second trace, 0, go to the left of it. Okay, so this time it's below, that's the left. Hit enter, above, it's right. If you look, your arrows need to be pointing to each other. Okay, hit enter again, so that's my negative 3, 0. You can also find it just by counting if it looks like it goes exactly through that point. Okay, so if I count 1, 2, 3, negative 3, 0, and then 4, 5, 6, negative 6, 0. Okay, so on these you can have one solution. So that looks like it just touches. Okay, you can have 2 solutions. So like that's just like our last one where it goes through twice. Okay, or you can have no solutions. Okay, so that would be where it's up here and it doesn't ever cross your x-axis. Alright, so there's that. On the back of this notes page is your assignment. Okay, so on these first 6, you're just looking at them and telling me your zeros. Okay, on the bottom part is where you need a calculator to find the zeros like we just did on those last 2 examples. Please let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.